Hi and welcome to Trades of the Week, reporting live from our UK office. Now, in this edition of Trades of the Week, we are going to cover a lot of things, not only the trend for 2022, but also the expectations we have for 2023. We're going to be looking at, we've gotten some key data from our research team regarding the cryptocurrencies where 90% is held by certain institutions, and we're going to be telling you what that means for us in the market, what cryptos we're avoiding and what stocks and cryptos we are buying. And also we got a big spike in Bitcoin, up 26% from the lows, which is incredible to see. So we are going to be looking at what that means as well for the future coming weeks. But before we jump into it today, there are a couple of things I want to mention. Like in our IM Insider, we actually present the top gainers, the top losers every week. Last week, we only had two losers because the cryptos market has been so bullish. So if you're not in the IM Insider, if you want to get the latest news for free, make sure you press the link below to join the IM Insider, to become an insider yourself, to get the latest on the crypto side and the stock side as well. So that being said, let's dive into it. Okay, so let's dive into it. So if we have a look at the stocks, how they performed last week, we actually took quite a bit of profit last week, which was awesome to see. But now what we're seeing is that GPC is not really moving. It's moved down a bit, and hopefully now we will have a reaction to the upside. So if you do your analysis, you like GPC, then this could be an amazing opportunity for you to enter. So then you could get in at an even better price than we did. But we have a nice looking trend, lower highs and lower lows, a really higher highs and higher lows, and a really clear pattern as well. So hopefully it will zoom higher and get us into profit, but we will see. The other one we're looking at is HE. So that is Hawaiian Electric Industries that we discussed. Now let's see what happens here. We are around the entry point, and the same there. If you do your research, you find this interesting, you can get in at a better price than we did. Now, you can see this is all about probabilities. Trading is all about probabilities, where one thing is more likely to happen over another. And what you will see here is exactly that the probabilities are that this will go down. Now, let's dive into some of the news before we present the new opportunity for the year. Now, it's a new year, it's new possibilities, which is awesome. Basically, what happened last week? Well, let's start with 2022, actually. The key trends of 2022 was that value outperformed growth. The past years, we've seen a lot of the growth stocks. We have Zoom, we have some of the new ones, Palantir, you might know Beyond Meat. Like those really outperform the value stocks. But over time, usually value outperforms growth. Why? Because growth usually don't have that much cash flow. They don't make any profits. They're growing and they have losses. But value companies, you have the Apples, with the Microsoft, the Google, they have pure value in their companies. Even mining companies have really big assets that covers for their debt, and they make profits. So they can sustain tough times a lot better than the growth companies. That is one thing to make a note of. But that's not only it, because the other part of the story is, well, obviously, if we're in a recession, people are spending less, companies are selling less, and together with inflation as well, then prices are going up as well. I know eggs got up 60% or something crazy in price. And if consumers are spending less, then companies are selling less, which then leads to a slowing growth of the economy overall, which usually then leads to a recession. Now, we actually had, so the value outperformed with the largest margin since 2001 as well. And over the past decade, and if we look back at the great financial crisis of 2008, growth outperformed value for the most years. So in a bull market, growth usually outperforms value. So we'll see what happens here. But as interest rates rose way too rapid in 2022, and they cut rates with Fed fund rate now around 4.3, we saw the downward pressure in the market and the higher valuation assets. So the Zoom is a great example. So if we have a look at my screen here and I show you Zoom, what you will be seeing is a growth phase where Zoom actually zoomed higher all the way up to over 700% up, and now from the top it's practically down all the way down, so roughly 88% from the high. But while we have the companies such as value companies like Apple, that's actually not gone down that much. They've widely outperformed the growth, but that will turn as soon as we're out of the bull market or the bear market. That might turn. So with that being said, it is, if you really believe you've done your research, we're in Zoom, as you can see. It's zoomed lower, but then you can actually get in at these at really discounted prices. You can buy this at an 84% discount, which is amazing, of course. So the outlook for 2023, it's expected that value will actually continue to outperform growth, at least for the first part. And we'll see what Fed does. But if we can see that the inflation stabilizes, and even if it lowers, it gets lower, we see a decline in the inflation. And we can see us coming out of the recession, and we can see a big growth phase again, maybe towards the end of 2023, otherwise maybe in 2024. But then we are going to be ready to gobble up and really invest into these growth companies, because then they're really going to be outperforming value. But for now, I think we should focus on value. And speaking about value, we have a VCA that can bring some value to you in a moment as well. But basically some news from last week is that we saw a positive reaction in the market across the board, because the inflation data showed that the inflation actually gets lower, and hopefully we can see that the Fed now can maybe reduce the rate hikes from 0.5 to 0.25 instead, which would show that we are finally getting to a point where we could see some positive movements in the economy. So we'll see what happens. And this week we have the US retail sales. And in November we saw in December, but for November we saw the lowest numbers in a very long time, in 11 months. And now, maybe in December, if we saw people really spending over Christmas, hopefully that will be up as well. So we believe we're going to get a positive reaction in the market this week as well. But that being said, the market has been going up quite a bit, so a little bit of a pullback is to be expected. So with that being said, if we have a look at the new one we're adding for today, we're adding a long position since we do believe the markets will go higher. So this is NABL. And we have a nice upward trend. It's just on the outer level of support, and we have a nice green candle that I like to see as well. So this looks really, really promising. And then I want to go over to the crypto news as well. And there's a couple of big pieces of news that I want to share with you. Number one, what we are seeing in the crypto market is insane. So FTX, you know the story about FTX, which is that the founder and CEO, SBF, or Sam Bankman-Fried, he is actually, he's saying that he's not guilty, and they just found $5 billion somewhere. So they have been permissioned to sell assets such as Ledger X and FTX Europe, FTX Japan to repay creditors. And the preliminary bids are being accepted over the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's what's happening. But who will buy FTX at this point? Well, we will see what happens, but I believe that Binance might be a candidate to take over FTX to really become the biggest players out there. Another piece of news is Polygon, one of the biggest blockchains out there. And if we have a look at Matic, I think I have it down here. So if you have a look at Matic, it's one of the most promising blockchains, and you can see it's really rallied as well, but it's not down that much. Well, from the high, it's pretty much, from the old high here, it's pretty much down 65%. A great opportunity to enter if you're not in it. But that being said, what they've done now, they have actually upgraded their chain. So they made a significant upgrade, and they're preparing for it on January the 17th. It's going to happen. It's a hard fork aiming to improving the chain overall and the predictability of the transactions as well. So they want to reduce gas spikes so it becomes cheaper to use, etc. But in essence, they are working hard to develop the blockchain to become one of the best in the world. So we believe there's a great sign and a good buying opportunity as well. But as of, if there's anything to do, there's nothing to do at the moment. They will give you the new coins, or they will just transition your old ones. Another piece of news out there, which is also a bit for the crypto market, but a lot of the exchanges are cutting staff, including one of the biggest one and regulated, which is Coinbase. Now, Coinbase from the highs is down a really big amount. It's down roughly 87 or so percent. It's insane. So with it being down 87%, we believe it is going to be, it's a growth company as well. Therefore, it's down that much. But it's going to be a really good buying opportunity, we believe, over the next couple of months. But we want to wait a little bit because they cut staff, which is really good actually in the long term. It really stinks in the short term. It looks bad because they need to save cash, but they will save cash, which means it's good for the longer term as well. And while speaking about cryptos, there is some good coins and some bad coins. The good coin we want to speak about today is Filecoin, that we believe is wildly undervalued. It's down over 95%. And we believe it's firmly undervalued for the simple reason that it really is a decentralized storage that are making great progress in the background. And they're actually currently way ahead of its competitors as well. And storage is something that will always be needed. I'm talking about computer and cloud storage. So that's one coin that we really believe in, and being down 95%, if you're not in this, we believe it's an amazing opportunity with the CCA strategy. Now, the one I would avoid for now, it's Nexo. A lot of these lending platforms, I mean, this is also down a lot, right? And it's really down at the bottom. But Nexo is a lending platform as well. And after new law enforcement entered the Bulgarian office of Nexos, it's uncertain of what extent this will affect the business. When there's smoke, there's always fire, usually. So the police really enter the headquarters and something happened, we don't know what yet, but it could be a good decision to maybe sell this, or maybe, I don't know, but I think there's better projects to invest into. So that might be one to avoid at the moment at least. Now, before we jump into the VCA section, we think it looks really bullish for the crypto market. Looking at the weekly or even looking at the monthly, we'll see how the monthly candle will close, but hopefully we can get a really big, nice green candle closing. And what I really like about this is that now we've actually, well, maybe for the first time, but we might be breaking above the downward trend that's been in place really since the high in November 2021. So if we can do that and stay above, then I think we could really have a big bullish breakout. And I think, according to some statistics, we might see 25, maybe 30,000 or so. But it needs to be sustained, and this month we will really see those numbers as well. And another reason why you might want to be a little bit cautious is that the stock market, but even the crypto market, has actually turned to greedy levels, which usually means when people are greedy and everyone's piling in, could be a good reason to sell. So the reason the crypto market is going up is that institutions has really piled in a little bit of money into cryptos, and naturally there's a big reaction to the upside. But I think it's a great opportunity longer term, obviously. Just be cautious, don't invest all your money, make sure you invest reasonably. But I do believe we might have a pullback down to the mid-90s, the 19,000. But then I think in the next couple of weeks or months that we head up to 25, 30K as well. So that is what we firmly believe might happen. So now the last point of this is that I want to go into the VCAs as well. So the VCAs and the investments, despite the market being a bit greedy, might have a small pullback, but we have some of these that are actually quite good. So one of those examples is Nike. We have the stop loss at 15% profit as an example. The same with silver, stop loss at 15% profit. While others, such as these growth companies like Beyond Meat, is down 88%. And what we're going to do is to add some value companies. We have added now in the recent weeks Amazon, we've added Tesla, we've added, Tesla it might be somewhere in between value and growth. We've added Microsoft as minus 35%, and only that, we're now adding Apple as well. Now, Apple speaks for itself, really good company, great fundamentals that we're looking at. So we're really positive ahead of this market, and minus 23% we believe is a good opportunity for Apple. Now, before we wrap up for today, the two things I want to mention is this. Number one, make sure you join our IM Insider, because then you're going to get the trade of the week, the crypto of the week, the gainers and losers, to always be on the right side of the trading. And more importantly, I just want to have a quick look here at the results as well. So as of today, we didn't take any profits. We're up 69.2% on Buffalo, 2,106% on the money invested with VCA. CCA 1,510%, small cap 4,120%. So that is really good, I believe, and I'm really looking forward what the coming weeks will bring as well. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to press that subscribe button if you like what you're seeing. Also, of course, like the video, and hey, place a comment. What do you believe will happen in the coming weeks in the crypto market? Do you believe we will continue up to 25, 30K, or do you believe we're gonna go down? Well, I really look forward to hear what you have to say about that. So comment, and we look forward to supporting you as well. So with that being said, from myself, the entire team, we really wish you a wonderful trading week, and I cannot wait to see you on next week's Trades of the Week.